Happy Aloha Wednesday. How's everybody making it through the week? Woohoo, right? Man, are you stoked to be on this call? That's what I'm going to say, because I have a treat for you. And I'm just seeing if anybody who is on our ALC clinic. Okay, so Joyce, only the people on our ALC have heard this before, and Andy, leadership and ALC. I'm going to play something for you, which I'm super excited about. It was an incredible training that we had with Jason Abrams. Who knows who Jason Abrams is? Anybody other than leadership? Okay, leadership. The ALC knows now, but does any of our other agents know? Have you guys heard of Jason Abrams? Does anybody know who he is? You can put it in the chat box. He is our director of industry he's the VP. His title is Vice President of Director of Industry for all of Keller Williams Realty International. He's an amazing person. I mean, there's very few people you'll ever see and meet like him. First of all, he was a very successful, I think his initial career was in some kind of a broadcasting or news, or, he was like a TV personality. He ended up having a real estate show in, I want to say, the Detroit area, and he ran a team there for a number of years. And then he took on this position at Keller Williams Realty International. And his team in Detroit still sells, without him being there, over 800 homes a year. 800. Wrap your brain around that. It's pretty crazy. So this guy is pretty much a genius. And so he was a guest for our Agent Leadership Council mastermind with Northern California and Hawaii. So I'm building up because I want to give other people time to get on the call. And then I'm just going to take care of a few housekeeping items, but I'm going to play you some mind-blowing stuff that he gave us. It's like a 10-minute condensed version of a few things that you're going to want to take notes on. So, get a notepad and get ready to take notes. I just wanted to, housekeeping wise, talk about the current quarantine rules. I want to make sure everybody's aware, for the sake of our clients and for yourselves who are traveling. You probably have heard this, but just in case you haven't, currently now there are no inner island, and if you've heard something differently, let me know, but I just read a new article last night to double check. So there's no inner island restrictions currently. So you can go inner island. You don't have to take a test. You don't have to do anything on safe travels. You don't have to show anything. If people are coming from the mainland, they have three options. One is they can take the test the same way people have been doing before they arrive. All of those rules still apply in terms of the time frame. And arrival, you have to show that. You have to use a Safe Travels app or site. The second option would be to quarantine for 10 days, which you can do without taking any kind of a test. And then the third, which they do check on you. And then the third option now that they have is that they opened it up if you have a vaccine card. And this is different than what they had originally said, because originally they had said that if you were traveling, you didn't get vaccinated in Hawaii, there really wasn't a way for them to verify or track it. Apparently, though, that has changed in terms of they are now accepting vaccine cards. And then some airlines do that, and then they give a wristband, which you may or may not have to show your card at that point. So I don't know, has anybody come back from the mainland where they've done that? Or I don't know if you want to share, but anyway, if anybody's done the vaccine card thing, or just put in the chat box to confirm that that's what your experience was. So I just want to give you guys an update on that. Okay, great. And then I also wanted to talk about the team meeting tomorrow. So tomorrow is kind of exciting. It is the first time in over a year and I don't know, it's probably been a year and a half, almost a year and a half. It's been a year and a half since we've had a live team meeting, or a live, well, officially. I mean, we've had a few things here and there and meetings and masterminds, and we've started coming back and doing that. But this is like actually kind of a celebratory team meeting. Those of you who are on the Big Island, you would have to fly over, and that's okay. You can attend virtually, or you can fly over if you want. It's going to be in the Kahului office at 9 a.m. right, Ray? Tell me if I'm wrong. 9 to 10:15-ish, 10:30 tomorrow. And we will have some snacky things for you. And it'll just be a fun thing. And we're going to do the regular team meeting stuff. And then we're going to do a hybrid version and have it be virtual. So it'll kind of be the first one where we used to do Facebook Lives, although we didn't really have a great setup for that. So we will continue to improve this. And the plan is now we're coming back and we're going to do these hybrid meetings. So for those of you who really are just wanting to be in person and can make it tomorrow, I would encourage you to be there. And so we're going to talk about some other cool stuff tomorrow. All right. So Latasha, I'm going to wait for you to talk about the command thing just because I want to tie it into what Jason Abrams is going to talk about as well. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys this video and let me share screen and again, take notes because this guy is ridiculous. Have I played him up enough? Okay, here we go. So share, now I know how to do this. Optimize screen sharing. Am I optimizing screen sharing or just sharing my sound?
Sharing your sound.
Both.
Okay, so both. Okay, let's try it. Let's do both and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Boom. All right, let me know if you cannot hear anything.
So I'm going to start with the last one because the first stuff is really fun and really important, but the last stuff could actually make you more money or give you more time. And so one of the things that I'm really clear on right now is that we're all bound together by a myriad of different things, and we all get something different out of work. But the general arc of all humanity is to seek for greater levels of freedom and to ascend to a higher standard of living. That's just it. It unites us. And real estate agents who are highly entrepreneurial, which is all of us, are really united by those things. And so you look up and say, well, what are the tricks? What are the tactics? What are the things that I'm not hearing about in my local market that I need to know about? I want to give you some of that stuff now. Now, granted, all of them are not going to all be the right idea for you. The idea is to grab onto either a concept or a tactic that you like. And so here's what I'm hearing. Right now, we have three central challenges. Number one, when we're with one of our customers, we're not with 999 others. So how do we stay in emotional proximity to them? Number two, the market has been like this and absolutely on fire. How do I compete and take advantage and get more of it today? And then number three, ultimately, how can I stay more relevant and get more come list me phone calls? All of those things are the challenges of the time. So number one, the data is really clear right now that directionally, everybody knows that the real estate market has went up. What they're really light on, the specifics of what that means to them. And I just want you to be clear that everybody gets their real estate news anecdotally, meaning they don't get it from their realtor. They get it from the person that they're playing canasta with. They get it from the person at the country club. They get it from the person at the church who, instead of saying, oh my gosh, my daughter listed her home and it sold in 11 minutes, says, you won't believe it. My daughter listed her home and 11 days later and it's still on the market. It's in that moment that it becomes real to the consumer. We have to understand that if they're going to get their news anecdotally, they have to get their facts from you. 63% of Americans say they don't know the actual value of their home. They know directionally it's up, but they don't know the actual value. That's akin to 63% of homeowners walking around with a winning lotto ticket in their pocket that they haven't stopped to scratch. It's absolutely amazing to me. The number one thing you can do for your customers right now is literally give them value. Here's what your home is worth. Minus what you owe, here's the number you'd get if you walked away tomorrow. That number is considerably higher than the super majority of them are thinking they are. And you're going to say, well, wait a minute. They're not going to move just by telling them a value. You're right. But here's what always happens. Every time the market starts to slow down, the group of people that actually know what that number is, they have a different thought process. They start to say, oh my gosh, I'm literally losing money. If they hear anecdotally, the market went down 10%. Now they actually tie it to a number and they say, oh my gosh, that means I'm $50,000 poorer or $30,000 poorer or $1 million, whatever the number is. And so when you tie to an actual number and the market changes, those are the first people off the fence. The educated seller of today is the active seller of tomorrow. Fact, write it down. If you graded your day by how many people I gave their home values were, you'd make more money when the market changes. That's number one. Number two, if you are sleeping right now on charity, I think you're making a giant mistake. And I don't just mean KW Cares, although thank you from the bottom of my heart for every single dollar you've given because you've helped so many agents. But I want you to ask the question, how are you using charity right now in your business? How are you using it to galvanize? And if you are dealing with millennials, let me speak directly to you. They care about this, meaning they want to know that you're making a difference somewhere. And I don't just mean giving money. I think you should weave it directly into your value proposition. Let's talk about Foster Fridays. I want to use an example from an agent in Vegas. Every Friday, they have Foster Fridays. What does that mean? They send their team, which is all millennials, by the way, don't ask. They send them out to all the no-kill pet shelters in Las Vegas Friday morning. Then they get there. Then these people take all the pictures of the puppies and the bunnies and the kitties and the ferrets and the vermin that need to be adopted. Then they plaster social media with these pictures, hashtag Foster Fridays, come pick one up right now. Then they volunteer there all day. And then they take pictures where they're giving the bunny and the puppy over to the person. They take another photo, they plaster that all over social media. Hashtag Foster Friday. The tagline for their company, we don't just find homes for people. Guys, if the audio was on, there would have been a collective sigh. You all would have went, "Aw," and you don't even know this dude. That's how powerful that is. Hashtag Foster Friday. I mean to tell you, they have 20,000 consumers following their business page. Let me just let you in on a secret. I was on the #1 rated show in my time slot, 1 a.m. to 2 a.m., #1 rated show in my time slot for 3 years, and I didn't have 20,000 people following me. And that's not just because they limited me at Facebook. I'm just telling you, people would rather look at other people getting puppies they're never going to meet than watch the greatest realtor in the universe sell houses. I don't understand it, but I'm not fighting the consumer. I'm going with them. What are you doing? Hashtag Foster Friday. Next, unique services. Friends, this isn't going away as much as us might want it to, but it's not. Unique service is massively important. In transaction, what are the unique services that you're providing? And I know right now you're starting to jot them down. The #1 is you. The unique service is the fact that you'll take a phone call no matter what you're doing and that your laptop has sand in it, which is weird in any other industry other than ours. But the #1 thing we provide in transaction is us. #2 is everything else, which is call my lender because they're great. I love Keller Mortgage, you do too. #2, it's call my title person because they're great. They're not just paying me, they really happen to be good at this. Or whatever other services you're providing. Here's the problem though. Very little of that is unique, #1. But #2, it's all inside of the transaction. What's the unique service you're providing outside of the transaction? Because let's be honest, they're outside of the transaction for 2 to 7 years. I want to give you some examples. #1, raise your hand if you mow your own lawn. Zach didn't think so. Perfect. The super majority of us are not mowing our own lawn. A service is doing that. It's the same for your customers. So I'm going to throw out an idea. 90% of you are going to roll your eyes, and I wish you wouldn't. Why not just own a landscaping service? And by the way, they're really cheap to buy. And do you know why? Because they're usually owned by the person who was the best at cutting the lawns. And so here's the thing. You can bring your business coaching and consulting to almost any landscaping company and acquire that. If you didn't think that that's for you, then join in groups of 3 or 4 and do it. And then here's the thing. You simply give the service away to your data bank. Imagine this phone call. Zach, Jason Abrams calling. Look, I sold you the house. Do you love it? Of course you do. Don't even bother answering. By the way, do you mow your own lawn? And then he says, no, I don't. And you say, great. Here's the thing. Here's what I realized. I had been spending my whole life making sure that buying and selling homes happens beautifully. I've decided to broaden that. I want to make sure that living in the homes happens beautifully also. And so here's what I did. I bought a landscaping company. And I want to send them over to your house to do a spring cleanup and plant all your flowers free of charge. And then if you like it, I'd like to send them back every 2 weeks to mow your lawn, no charge ever. Would that be okay with you? The only thing that I ask is you let me leave a little yard sign that says this home meticulously maintained by the Abrams real estate team for free. Would that be okay? Break script. No one is saying no to that, especially people with big yards like Tony Brody. They love this thing. And then people drive by and they see the sign and then they call, and I'm watching this in real time. People call and they say, can you take care of my house for free? And that's when you get to say, you know what? I'd love to take care of all of these homes for free. The problem is The truth of it is I can't do that unless you buy or sell with me. So the next time you do it, just use us.
All right. How was that?
Is that a
Great.
tie-in?
Is it a tie-in?
Yeah,
What do you mean?
like a tie-in. You know, tie-ins are illegal. Like you get this for this.
You mean the landscaping service?
Yeah.
As far as buying and selling with them? I don't know. I mean, we can find out.
Is it amazing?
Guessing he's probably able to do it if that's what he does and he sells 800. I don't know. I mean, we can check on that.
I mean,
Amy,
that's wherever he is. We're in Hawaii, so it's a little different. But
We have a lot of ethics rules.
I mean, I don't know. If you own a business and you want to provide a service,
I don't want
you
to put
can
it
do
down.
that.
Easy.
No. I mean, it can be an issue if it's mortgage or title, if it's RESPA related. If it's not, and it's any other service, I don't know. Good question, broker Keone. Okay. So, anyway, the incredible, right? This is how this guy thinks. That's different. I mean, did you get a new idea that you didn't have before? I think the key thing, and we're going to talk more a little bit about this tomorrow in the team meeting, because I want to open this up for discussion. We don't have a lot of time on this call, is so the big thing that I took away was the CMAs, because he did talk more about that and basically said that's what he does. And he gives valuations. So at this time in the market, which he's been through a few market cycles as an agent, he would just give these valuations like wildfire to as many people as he possibly could. And then they would go in his data bank. And then when that happened, when, he talked about getting news anecdotally, when the news caught up with what was happening and the market was shifting, now has listing after listing after listing. Colette Ching, our operating principal, used to do this as well. This was a big part of her success. She was in the top 1% of Coldwell Banker agents before she was with Keller Williams for years. And this was a big part of what she did, was provide valuations and CMAs. And she would be during this market, like she would be just giving them out. And then when things shifted, everybody in her office, she started taking a bunch of listings and people couldn't understand what happened. And she said, remember when I was in the office and I was doing all of these CMAs? That's paying off now. So what we want to do is encourage you to do that. And we're going to create a contest around it because it helps you. And it's fun. So we have two contests that tie together, which is going to be really cool. Latasha is going to talk about the opportunities, what's going on with opportunities. And what is cool with that is that you can tie in these CMAs or valuations. I'm calling them valuations, and I would suggest that you do too, because CMAs is a realtor term, and a lot of people don't know what that means, regular homeowners. So it's, a free valuation of your home or something like that. Just, or you can say market analysis if you want. It's just, depends on the vocabulary and then of the person, meaning what their experience with real estate is. And so then we're going to tie in the CMA contest. I'm just saying CMAs to you. And the CMA contest is going to go from July 15th. It's basically this quarter. But since we didn't start it till now, we're going to say the 15th of July to the 15th of September. So basically for this quarter. And the prize that, I can tell you that whoever does the most, and we're going to have to talk about metrics and how we track it and teams and individuals, is that we will send you to family reunion in February. So you get a free trip and you get an amazing conference, and it's an awesome prize. And there may be other prizes too. And then we'll have prizes as well for opportunities. So Latasha, why don't you take it away and talk about opportunities, because that is part of how we're going to be tracking this.
Where's family reunion? Is it in Kahului?
I don't know if they announced it yet.
I don't
think they announced it yet. It's either going to be it can only be like in 5 places in the country that can accommodate as many people if it's a full family reunion. So that would be Las Vegas, California, like Orange County, Florida, Orlando,
For some
New
reason,
Orleans.
Orlando.
I thought I saw
might be.
Orlando somewhere.
Yeah, it might
too.
be okay, maybe it's back in Orlando. So Disney World, hashtag Disney World. Okay, Latasha.
Thank you. So really quickly, I just wanted to make sure everyone was clear on how to do an opportunity. So really quickly, you in the contact card, it's the best place to do that. The contest has already started. I'm going to give you an update just very quickly, but how to create an opportunity within the contact card is the best practice. I'm using Adam Miller as my tester today. You want to make sure that you hover over and select opportunities. And it's just as simple as this. Hit create opportunity. It's going to pop up, auto-populating all of the contact information from this particular contact, which is Adam Miller. You want to focus on the asterisks. You want to designate whether it's a listing or buyer side. And if there is a co-seller involved, add them. You want to make sure that you have your opportunity name on the listing side. You want to put the address after the listing. And then commission rate. You want to make sure that the commission rate is at 3%. You can start that out there. If you've got another a negotiated rate, then you put that in there. Needless to say, you just need something in there. And then whether you're in the phase of cultivate or get to know you, and hit create, and that's it. That's how you create an opportunity. It's just that simple. So can I get a drum roll for where we are currently? I think I'll provide my own jump roll. Okay, good. All right. It is, wow, we are still in the lead. Moneymakers is at 2,483 opportunities, and One Direction, going the wrong direction, is 1,853. So you can see back in June 29th, we were still ahead, but yeah, we're making progress.
So let's remind people. So Moneymakers is our office, Maui, Big Island. Like all of our agents are Moneymakers, and then the Oahu offices are One Direction. And when did we start? So when we say we have 2,483, that was opportunities, new opportunities that were created beginning.
So that was our base. So back in June 29th, our base, what we started with is 2,450.
So we get to do that. We get to, if we started ahead and they're behind, then they just have to catch up. It's not how many opportunities are created during this time frame. It's total that are in there by the end.
Yes. So what we are doing is, number one, we are actually ahead in multiple ways. So we are ahead in our base, and we are also ahead in our adding. So even if we took the adding, we added just from July 1st to now, 31 opportunities versus Oahu's or One Direction's 19.
Awesome. All right, you guys, I love this. So basically the point is the opportunities, if we're doing these valuations, I should say when you're doing these valuations, thank you, Latasha, that's kind of fun. And that ends, are we gonna just end that? When does that one end as far as putting the opportunities in? Oh, sorry, you're muted.
Sorry, I thought I hit my space bar. July 31st is the end.
Okay, so that's through July. So we've got, so the first thing is let's get the opportunities in there. And how do you put an opportunity in, and why would you be putting someone in? Well, when you do a CMA for them or evaluation, it's a perfect chance to put them in. So if they're not already in your opportunities, and Latasha, correct me if I'm wrong. So if you have somebody in contacts that is in your database and you reach out to that person and then you do a CMA for them, or you even have a conversation with them, you can then move that contact. I mean, at any time they can move a contact into an opportunity. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay. So you can actually take people that are in your contacts and move them into opportunities. And that basically just means we're in communication. There's a pipeline, they're a potential buyer, a potential seller, and, or I've created a valuation for them. I've met with them, or they actually have an escrow, right? Or we've done some kind of an agreement or contract. And so you can just move them down that line. Once they go from a contact into opportunities, or you just put them in as a new person into contacts and opportunities, there you go. So just want to make sure that's clear. Does anybody have questions about that? So you can use this. Do you see how you can use this concurrently, these contests? So I would say set a goal, and let me know if you have questions, raise your hand or speak up. Set a goal for the number of opportunities that you want to add in July. And then I would also set a goal for the number of valuations that you are going to do based on what you think would be your conversion into listings in the future. And if your answer is as many as I can possibly do, then do as many as you can possibly do. Make it a daily challenge for yourself. So what are some of the, just put in the chat box if you have any questions about what we just covered, and what number, how many opportunities will you be creating in July in Command, and how many valuations are you going to do this quarter, which ends September 15th. So do the math on that and figure out how many you want to commit to and do that. Does
Lisa,
everybody
can I
agree?
add one
Yes.
added value to
Yes.
your CMA contest? So if they're using Command as their primary CRM, what they can do is make sure that they're doing their checklist, which helps them manage the phase and stays. And one of the things for the checklist is once they create that CMA for their contact, that the client will receive a follow-up email in terms of, hey, I've submitted your CMA. Do you have any questions? So it's an additional follow-up, and it's definitely an added bonus. So have the agents reach out to me if they don't know what I'm talking about and they want to make it happen. So.
Okay. Thank you for that. Yeah. And that actually brings up a good point, is how do you run a CMA and what are you guys doing right now and what counts as a CMA? For my purposes, this contest, and then you can tell me what else you guys are doing. I mean, anything that is showing them that valuation of their home works. I mean, if you upload like a chicken scratch on a napkin, I don't know. I mean, I guess that can count. I would say use the tools that you have. So one of the things would be in your MLS. So I don't know how HIS runs it. I know in Paragon, you can do a CMA summary sheet. So, right, where it just shows you like a spreadsheet. You can do a full CMA wizard in Paragon, which are great because that gives you a full CMA report. You can use RPR for CMAs, which we have through Paragon. So maybe put in the chat box some of the things that you guys do to run those. And if you're not familiar with how to do it, it's a great opportunity for you to learn and do it. I think it would be helpful for people to share how they do them and how you would provide it. The other thing that you can do is you can create a Facebook ad around it. We'll talk more about this tomorrow because we're going to have more time in the team meeting. But you can run a Facebook ad around it. You can do a lead capture form, or you can direct it to your website. And then you can create like a widget that basically says, or something that says, do you want the valuation of your home? You don't have to build a whole website around it. Just do lead capture that says, if you want a valuation, send this to me. And then it has an autoresponder or something that says, you'll get it. I'll provide this to you within 48 hours or 24 or 48 hours. And then you go back, you get the information, you go back and you do it. You look up their property or you call them and say, hey, I have a couple of questions for you about your property. And it allows you to connect with them. I use HIS CMA Cloud. Okay, great, Emily. Yeah, so you have, it's probably a similar thing that we have in Paragon. So I don't see any numbers in the chat box of commitments of what people are going to do. Is this because you're not going to do it, or you don't think it's a great idea, or you're focused on something else, or you're excited, you just don't know what your number is yet, and you're going to surprise everybody and win? Give me some feedback. Give me some feedback.
I thought they were all excellent ideas today's meeting. I mean, even though that one I was stealing the thunder by calling tie-in, it still gets you thinking out of the box. You know, I mean, it's like time to reinvent yourself. If you're not getting any listings or not getting any buyers, I mean, there's something wrong if you're not getting any of those things. So time to talk to your broker, your coach, whatever, get reinvigorated. I really enjoyed that.
Awesome. Thanks, Keone. And yeah, set a goal around it. So, okay, thinking of my number, thank you, 1 million. Steve, that's so funny.
Austin Powers.
It's so great. Laura, 50 opportunities. Awesome. I love it. Raiden, I don't know yet. That's okay. But this is, I want to get you thinking about it and make a commitment to yourself to come up with that number in the next day or two. I mean, you have till the 15th when that CMA one starts, although opportunities is going on now. So start by doing those and practicing those. You saw that Lisa Pua, is Lisa Pua on? They did a shout out to Keller Mortgage. So I saw that she was on earlier. So that's cool too. Okay, last thing that I want to cover. And then if anybody else has anything, we can do that. I'm just looking at my notes. Okay, we'll talk about that tomorrow. Okay, and we'll talk a little bit more about each of these things tomorrow in case people have questions. It's just a heads up. So one, you guys should have all received the email that I sent out regarding the updating of the closing procedures and getting you guys paid to help you get paid if escrow is not providing what they need to provide, which is happening sometimes. So I trust that everybody will still get all their documents uploaded. If you do that 5 days prior to closing, whatever you have, minus those 4 documents that you may not have yet, then your checks will be released. And then we trust that you'll upload those final closing documents after closing and once you get them. Okay, so if you have any questions about that, let me know. Thank you, Lisa, for putting your contact in there. That's for Keller Mortgage, which has some great things going on for our clients. Final closing docs, Emily, I sent it to you guys in the email, so check that. It was the settlement statement, the satisfaction, escrow satisfaction sheet, your MLS printout, and what's the 4th one that I'm missing? HARPTA and FERPTA. Sometimes if you don't get the certs for HARPTA and FERPTA, you have to get those. Now those we want to get earlier. Although escrow apparently is not getting those in a timely manner. We used to have it in the contract where they had to provide it within a certain time frame, and they don't have to do that anymore. So now it's taking longer. And sometimes it just takes longer, in all fairness, for them to get it. So, so the last thing is you guys will be seeing, and we're going to send this out to you via email, and then you'll also see it uploaded in the intranet when we talked earlier about, well, I may say to Keone, like if you're doing things that relate to mortgage and title, for example, and we're a real estate company, there's a RESPA, potential RESPA issues that we have to make sure that we avoid so we don't have liability. So we are required to provide an affiliated business arrangement sheet, which is essentially a disclosure. And if you've been with other companies that have had relationships with mortgage companies or title companies, you've done this already before, where you have to provide a disclosure to the parties involved if that title company or mortgage company is being used. So I know Keller Mortgage provides it to everybody that they do business with. We as agents are going to have to help facilitate and make sure that it happens when we work with First Hawaii Title, which a lot of us work with, and they're great. We have an affiliated business arrangement with them. So there is a disclosure form. It's a 1-sheeter that the parties will need to sign so that if we're doing the transaction with them, so that we know that we've disclosed, and then we have to keep those things on record and provide that to the title company. So you'll see that. I'm just giving you a heads up if you don't know what that is. Okay, Andy, and then put any questions in the chat box or raise your hand. So Andy.
I just wanted to share for the Big Island agents, even though it'd be great if you can go to the hybrid meeting tomorrow. Obviously, I don't think many of you are going to fly to Maui. That next Tuesday at 10 o'clock, we are going to also ask you to come into the office. We really would like you to be there. It's going to be great information. We're going to have poo-poos. We want to get back together, and we will still have it hybrid, but we'd love to have you all there.
Thank you, Andy, for mentioning that. Yes, so you guys are so Big Island is doing in-person meetings now, and I think we're going to do like the once a month thing, and we're on Maui, we're also doing that. So you guys will get updates for the Big Island. Thank you for mentioning that. And then who signed up for Mega Camp? So yes, thank you for mentioning that, Teresa. I actually hadn't even seen the email yet. Apparently they released tickets. They released more tickets. So now they're not just the people that got invites, because the convention center is allowing them to do more tickets. So they're still going to be limited. I don't know what the email said. If anybody knows, let me know. Go to Mega Camp. Go to Mega Camp. It's incredible, and it will be electric, especially if they're opening it up to more people in terms of not being able to have it for a while. It's going to be the best conference that you've been to. It will be incredible. So check that out. I know I want to say we probably have about 15 people in the office so far, 15 to 20, maybe 15 people registered. Ray, you just sent me that list. That's how I realized that other people, 5 people on that list, not including the invited people, because we have the invited people too that were in Gary Keller's top mastermind group or invited. And in fact, we have, oh, this is very exciting. We may have more than one agent. I can tell you right now, we have one agent that is going to be on a panel discussion. I don't know if they're physically going to be there. They're going to do it virtually. But Todd Hudson was invited to be part of a panel. So that's pretty exciting. So he will actually be in one of the Mega Camp Things sessions. And then we have another agent that has been requested to submit to be in the Clash of the Closers contest. So keep good thoughts. We'll see if he gets in. It's Tyler Coons. They asked for him to submit to be part of that. So we'll see if he gets in. All right, you guys, that's all I have. Does anybody have anything else? Otherwise, I'll see some of you tomorrow.
Hey, yeah, Lisa, I just.
Yes, Robert.
I just wanted to let everybody know, Coffee with Command on Fridays, 9 to 9:30. In support of the Opportunities Challenge, we're going to jump ahead in Marty Miller's 66-day challenge, and we're going to focus on opportunities. So this
Excellent.
Friday, 9 to 9:30, we're going to start going through the opportunities.
So that's a great time for you guys to time block to actually work on your opportunities, is go to that from 9 to 9:30 and do it, right?
Yeah.
Great, Robert. That's on the calendar. Thanks for mentioning that. Okay. Thanks, you guys. And keep up the great work. June was, I think, your best month. We closed more transactions in June than an entire year so far, year to date, actually of all time. I think we broke a record of all time. So I'm getting the rest of the numbers. We also are profit sharing over $50,000. So it was a great month. So congratulations to everybody who had closings, because a lot of you did. And if you didn't have closings, talk to your coach, talk to me, talk to your broker, and we need to figure out how we can help you, because right now that's your market of the moment, and then to prepare for the next one. All right. Thanks, you guys. Have a great day. Bye.
See you later.